Welcome back to the Lunar New Year. This is the first repeat event that we have with raids, and it looks like they are continuing to use the same raid bosses as the last Lunar New Year. So the first one, as you can tell, you've already clicked on the video. First one is Lopunny. One major change to note, 3-star raids now require, or at least this raid in particular, requires at least one OT Pokemon. Luckily, they did change it so that OT stars count. So if you previously were unable to use your OT stars for either Heatran or Suicune, you now are able to. Should be across the board. It looks as though the locations are the same. I've only checked Unova Dreamyard. I'll post an update if this isn't the case. But it looks like the raid den locations are the same as last year, so they are what's on screen. And we will take a look at the mechanics now. Don't have the ability, don't have the held item, not that important for this raid. The thing that is really important that makes it very different is at the very beginning of the fight, Lopunny casts a Follow Me on both of its ads, and that will be permanent. At the time of publishing it, it may not be fixed yet, but there was a bug, I'll say, that allowed you to bypass the Follow Me. It would only last one turn, so you just ignore the ads first turn. You were able to feint it. The intended mechanic is Follow Me on the ads. So you'll see how that eventually plays out, but essentially what you'll need to do is use AoE moves for the most part, at least in the player 1 and player 2 slots, in order to do both damage to the boss and the ads, to take care of the ads. We'll get to that in a second. You get Klutz kind of skill swap to you on around, it was like 60%. There's a Thunder Wave that's cast at like 45% and Teeter Dance at 30%. So I'm going to recommend ground types to use Earthquake, at least for player 1 and player 2. You could probably very easily beat the boss if you just brought all Earthquake and you didn't really want to worry about who's killing ads when, so that would be my recommendation. And then you also bypass that Thunder Wave, that automatic Thunder Wave. Its moveset is slightly notable. It's got Acrobatics, Thunder Punch, Double Edge, and most importantly, Drain Punch. You want to avoid bringing Pokemon that are weak to Fighting type, just because Drain Punches will cause it to heal about 2% every time it hits. So that is a bit annoying, especially when you're struggling to get damage onto the boss because of the Follow Me mechanic. So avoid Steel types, Rock types. That's especially important for your Earthquake users, so don't bring Excadrill. It still works if you don't have anything else, but try to avoid Excadrill, Rhyperior, for example, any other rock types that might have Earthquake. And I'll just explain a cheat sheet really quick so you kind of get an idea. Players 1 and 2 need basically all spread or AoE moves, so you don't have to coordinate who's going faster and potentially feinting the ads. I'd recommend one Eruption for each players 1 and player 2. You can also put an Eruption on the right side to start, so you can just do Eruptions to begin to take care of all of the ads, and then you only have to worry about the single ad spawning on the left side. That's why players 1 and players 2 need that those AoE moves. Players 3 and 4 can use single target. Fighting is recommended, as the damage cap is higher for fighting types. And we will take a very quick look at the fight here. We do start off with a Tailwind lead, 2 Eruptions, and we set some with the Ninetales. You can do this especially if you're lacking Earthquake types. New computer, I did not have battle percentages turned on, so it did that quickly. And then you'll see pretty much how the fight plays out rather quickly. We have mostly Earthquake users. You can see on my party screen, I do bring the one Medicham. I don't think it even comes out before we feint the boss. Do remember to put Earthquake on your Garchomp. If you saw that, I did not have Earthquake. We had to Dragon Claw. But basically, you see there's only one ad spawn per turn. If you have taken care of both ads, you'll only have the ad spawn on the left side. So this is why players 1 and players 2 need to bring AoE moves or spread moves. Garchomp is a great use. Flygon, making sure that you're just taking care to avoid the fighting weak types so that you're not causing the boss to gain health back from Drain Punch. So that's the main point of consideration. For the other players 3 and 4, you want the Tailwinds to happen on that side. Lopunny is pretty fast, so some slower mons might not be able to outspeed. Tailwind takes care of that. And you do one on the right side just so that you don't have instances where an ad might live and then you have 2 alive. You just never want to have 2 alive, so that the players 3 and 4 can always do AoE damage. You probably could get away with having all players. If you're solo queuing this, I would just bring all Earthquake users. Just so you don't know where you're going to spawn. You don't know who's going to do what. So that would be something to make sure that you're always just doing AoE damage. You do need those 2 Tailwinds, so bringing Tailwind as a solo queue player is probably very useful as well. Other than that, that's pretty much it. Yeah, the 3 and 4 slots can bring AoE as well, just to make things simpler. As you see here, we have 2 alive. That'll just happen sometimes between the Teeter Dance and the Thunder Wave. an ad might live. It's not that big of a deal. As long as you are taking care to just do AoE damage, it can be neutral. That's fine. I don't think there are even AoE fighting moves to begin with. So yeah, and then also make sure that you set Tailwind on the 5th turn. We forgot there, and it kind of messed us up a bit. But took care of the boss pretty easily, and that is Lopunny. Good luck, and let me know if you have any questions. Raid info doc is in the description. Have a good one. Good luck with the events.